Alright. So I recently bought a window-type aircon from LG. To be exact, the model is LA200GC2 AT3ALCS. It is a dual inverter, 2-horsepower air conditioner. This is a 2023 model, which has an energy efficiency rating of 4.01 and a monthly energy consumption of 216 kWh. Power input is 1,600 watts, and it uses the newer R32 refrigerant or Freon. This is a huge aircon. As you can see in the measurements here, the box is 29 by 30 inches, and the height is 25 inches. This box is even wider than our 2-door refrigerator. Unboxing the aircon, we will see that the front panel is detached. And it looks like we have connector here, which we will connect to the bigger body of the aircon when we attach this front panel. I am honestly overwhelmed by the size of this aircon. The size of this thing after attaching this front panel, rounded to whole number, is 26 by 31 by 18 inches. And that is huge for an aircon. At least for me. This is the body of the aircon, and I definitely cannot lift this by myself as this weighs 49.5 kilograms, as heavy as a full sack of rice. But we are not reviewing this aircon in this video. Beside from the fact that setting this up will take days, I also absolutely don't have any expertise when it comes to air conditioning. I just use it, and that's it. Rather, we are going through the high-tech part of this aircon. The LG ThinQ application, which lets you control the aircon no matter where you are in the world, as long as you have a connection. It also lets you manage the kilowatt-hour consumption, lets you diagnose the unit, and many more. Let's get into it. Okay. Of course, the first thing that we should do is install the application to your phone. Go to your App Store or Play Store, then search for LG ThinQ. When you find it, just install it. It is 85.2 megabytes from Android Play Store, and I have no idea if it is the same size in App Store. It took about a minute to install. Let's open the app after installing. We have 4 welcome screen here for device control, smart diagnosis, and smart routines quick information. Just click next on them. Let's now tap sign in, as you will need an LG ThinQ account to the application. So you either sign in if you already have an LG account, or sign up and create a new account. When signing up, you of course need to agree to all terms, then enter your email address as the ID, set a password, and provide your first and last names, and your birthday. Then a code will be sent to your email which you will need to enter in this screen. After this, you can now log in and go to the home page of the application. Alright. Now we can start on setting up our aircon within the app and connect them to each other. And as usual, we will need to allow all the permissions for the LG ThinQ app. Now let's tap Add Device. We can add any other smart home devices here, even other brands, but since we are setting up an LG aircon, let's tap Air Conditioners. But first, make sure that your phone is connected to the proper Wi-Fi connection where you want the aircon to connect. Preferably the closest access point to the aircon, of course. Now let's select Air Conditioners. Now, under Household, select the type of aircon you have. Mine is a window type. We now have an option here to either scan a QR code from the aircon, or add a device without QR code. I tried to search for a QR code in my aircon, but I cannot find one, so I tap the Add Device without QR. Then the app will ask for the password of the Wi-Fi you are currently connected to. This information will be saved by the app, and then fed to the aircon which it will use to connect to it. Next, we will need to hold the mode and fan speed buttons from the aircon's physical remote control to activate its Wi-Fi, which will then start the process of establishing the connection and communication between the LG ThinQ app from the phone and the LG aircon. Make sure that the aircon is plugged in, of course. You will hear a tone from the aircon once the Wi-Fi activation starts. And the Wi-Fi LED from the aircon will blink. Let's zoom into the aircon. I'm not sure if you can see this as it is too bright here in the room, but the LED beside the Wi-Fi is a blinking green light now. While in your phone, the connection process will begin, and you need to tap Connect to proceed. It will gather the aircon information and establish the connection. This whole process took around 40 seconds for me. From here, you can then rename the device. Ideally, you can set the name to the room location of the aircon, which will be very helpful especially if you have more than one aircon at home. But technically, you can put any name that you want here. Then tap OK, and you're done. The device is now set up along with your LG ThinQ application. Now you can use your phone to control the aircon. Let's try to turn it on. There we go! As you can see, the aircon is now turned on, but just using the LG ThinQ application from my phone. But do note that for the LG ThinQ application to work in controlling the aircon should be plugged in, and the Wi-Fi connection that you've set up with it should be online and working. If the aircon is unplugged, or the Wi-Fi is not working, you will not be able to control the aircon through your phone. Let's try to turn it off now. There we go. The LG aircon has its own connection to the Wi-Fi, so if that connection is not working, the aircon will obviously be offline, and you will not be able to reach it to control it. But if the aircon and your phone are both online, regardless of what Wi-Fi network your phone is connected to, it does not matter where you are in the world. You can be in North Pole, or South Pole, or anywhere, you will be able to control the aircon from wherever you are. As you can see here, I am turning on the aircon again from outside the room, and it just works flawlessly. Okay. Now let's go through the LG ThinQ application features and functions now. During the first time you open the app, you will have this option to personalize your location. When you tap the Go to Settings, you can set your actual pin location. Alternatively, you can also tap the Home in the top left corner to open the Home settings. From here, you can also access the Home settings where you can set the name, the address, and then add or invite other accounts to be a member of this home, which I'll show in more details later. And lastly, you can also set the wallpaper of the app. Let's go back to the landing page. From here we also have the list of devices, which for now, it is only one, for the LG aircon that we've set up. As you can see, it is currently turned off. We can tap that device box to go to its features and settings. At the top right corner, when we tap the gear icon, it will open the options where you can edit the nickname of the device. Set the location. Adjust the temperature unit between Fahrenheit or Celsius. You can also toggle the LED lights and the sounds in the aircon to turn them on or off. You can change the Wi-Fi network where the aircon is connected to. And you can open the device information to view the device type, model number, serial number, and software information. And lastly, you can delete this device, which is the LG aircon, from the app. Obviously, you can turn on the aircon from here. And by the way, the information in the previous page is different when the aircon is turned on. As you can see here now, we still have the indoor temperature, which is the actual current room temperature. But now we also have the target temperature, which is the set temperature in the aircon. And when we tap this box, we also have more information here. The current room temperature is still at the top. We can also select the mode here between cool, dry, and fan. We have the target temperature and fan speed below that, which you can also adjust. And you also have an option here to schedule turn on or turn off time. We can toggle the sleep timer from here as well. And lastly, the active energy control, which you can set to 40, 60, 80, or 100% performance. This sets the energy that the compressor uses to cool the room. Less percentage is of course less electricity consumption, but might also need more time to cool the room. Now when we go to the Useful Features tab, the first thing that you will see here is the Filter Management Progress bar. If this bar reaches 0, the Clean Filter LED light in the aircon will turn red, indicating that it is now time to clean the aircon filter. But do note that this is not a sophisticated filter management. There are no dust sensors here, or anything like that. This just simply counts the hours of usage of the aircon. If you have used the aircon for a total of 250 hours, the Clean Filter aircon will light up. For me, I don't follow this, as I always clean the aircon filter once a week, every weekend. And even after cleaning the filter, this filter management will not reset. You will need to reset it manually. You need to tap the filter management, which will open more details about it, then tap Filter Reset. Then tap Reset. This will now bring back the filter management to 100%, and the countdown to 250 hours of usage starts again. And if for some reason your LG ThinQ app is not working, you can still reset the clean filter indicator. From the aircon control panel, press the up and down temperature button at the same time. This will also reset the filter management back to a 100%. If you cleaned your filter and forgot to manually reset this, I think that's okay. I don't think there's any harm that will come to the aircon if you do not reset the clean filter indicator, other than the annoying red LED light in the clean filter from your aircon. Another useful feature here is the energy monitoring, which one of my favorite feature of this app and the aircon. From here you can see the real-time power consumption of your aircon if it is currently turned on, along with the power consumed within the current month. When we tap this, it will give you a more detailed graph of the hourly kilowatt-hour consumptions. Tapping on one of the bars in the graph will show that selected bar's details at the bottom of the screen. While above the graph you have the daily cumulative usage, the real-time current power consumption, the date of the data being showed, and tabs for daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly options. You can of course move through the dates, or select the tabs below to filter and group the power consumption data that you want to view. I love this feature as I can see, both in real time and historically, the aircon's power consumption data. With this data, you can avoid electricity bill shock as you are always aware of how much power you consumed. You can compute your electricity bill, at least for the aircon consumptions, and prepare the proper budget for it. Under Energy Monitoring, you also have the Kilowatt Manager, which is a feature where you can set a target kilowatt-hour consumption for a certain date range of your choosing. When enabled, the aircon will adjust itself to budget and meet the power consumption target that you've set. I have not tried this yet, so I cannot speak about it, if it is effective or not, but based on other videos that I've watched about Kilowatt Manager, they say that it is not 100% accurate that it will always meet the target kilowatt-hour consumption limit, but it is close enough. So it will be very helpful if you want to budget your power consumption. Lastly, in the special features, we have the Smart Diagnosis. As the name implies, this runs a diagnosis on all the important parts of the aircon, like the compressor, inverter, refrigerant, voltage, and different sensors. This is a big help if you are having issues with your aircon, and you can use these data before calling for support. And speaking of support, we also have a customer support tab here, which lets you directly send the diagnosis result to the LG support. You just need to enter your phone number here. There's also an option here for Call CIC, which is disabled. It's probably a feature for a certain region. When you scroll down, you also get some random tips here, and another link to connect to support, which when tapped, will take you to the LG Philippines support page. Obviously, as my aircon is still new, I have not tried these support features yet. Now, as promised earlier, let me show you how you can set up the LG ThinQ app from another phone, which you can also use to connect and control the same LG aircon. From the main phone where you've already set up everything, open the LG ThinQ app. Then go to Home Settings. Then tap the current home. And from here, tap Invite Members. Below, tap the Invite Member button. From here you have two options. Invite via account, or invite via QR code. I find the QR code option to be much easier, so let's choose that. Now you'll have a QR code available to be scanned by the other phone. Do note though that this QR code will expire after 3 minutes. Now from the other phone, you obviously need to install the LG ThinQ app as well, and set up an LG account, login, and all the things we initially did earlier. Once all of that are done, go to the Home Settings. Then tap Get Invited. Allow all the permissions. Then scan the QR code from the other phone. Tap OK to accept the invitation. Then tap OK. And there you go! This second phone now has access to the same LG aircon. You can now both control the same aircon. When you now go back to the Home Settings, you will now see that there are two members. You can add the whole family here if you want. And that's it for this video. Hope you learned something new today about the LG ThinQ app. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If it has helped you in any way, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Nilasaj for watching. No bear.